Kia ora Pihanga whānau. I hope you guys have all had a lovely holidays and a lovely week one back at school. I know this is a little bit different to how we would normally run things. It's a little bit strange having Miss H coming in from her kitchen, but we are just going to make the most of what we can. So for today we have got a wee science lesson for you and a wee experiment that hopefully you can do at home as well, and give it a wee go. Maybe you might need some help from a parent or an older sibling because we're going to be using some food colouring and that could get a little bit messy. So when we are learning about science, we need to be thinking about how we can improve our scientific skills, basically. So how we can think and act like a scientist. So we're looking at those things that scientists do in order to solve mysteries, basically. Solve mysteries, solve puzzles, figure out how things work. So in order to do that, one of the things that we need to be able to do is make observations. So that's what we're going to be focusing on today. So through this experiment, I'm going to get you to make some observations. Now that means that you're going to be looking really closely at what you can see. So normally when we make our observations, we can be using all of our senses. So we can be using what we see, what we smell, maybe what we can hear. Sometimes we might be able to touch it and see how things feel. And sometimes if you are doing some kind of science like baking, you might be able to eat it and see how your experiment tastes. So for today we've got a little experiment. If you've got a parent around, that would be awesome, or an older sibling or somebody else that can help you with these things. So I'll get you to do it at home, and what you can do is I'll take you through each step and then you can pause it as you go and then do it along with me so that you're not seeing what happens and it ruins the experiment for you. Things here to do this experiment that hopefully you'll be able to do at home. If you can't, that's all good, just watch me do it and I'll try and get in really closely and let you see what's happening. But if you can, I'll tell you where just to pause it and then you can do your part so that I don't go and do it and then ruin the experiment for you and you get to see at the same time. So what we need for this is a bit of water, some oil, any kind of oil will work, vegetable oil, whatever you've got at home, some food colouring, any colour, whatever you like, however you want to do it, and a clear glass or a container or a jar or something like that, anything that you can put things into. So we're going to start, where can you see it? Hopefully you can see it from there, by putting a whole lot of oil into your cup. And I can pull it off. There we go. So I'm going to pour a decent amount, about that much oil, half a cup or so. So you can pause this, you can go and do that with yours now. Right, once we've got our oil in there, what we're going to do is get our water and pour it in. Now when you're pouring it in, watch really carefully what happens with the oil. So you can pour your water in, just wait for a little second and watch what happens. Okay, so pause it now and give that a go. Cool, so you would have noticed if you've paused yours and given it a go, there's all my oil sitting on top of the water. Now it will take a little while just to settle. So I'm just going to leave that to settle. And while this is happening, you can get down really close, get an eye level to it, and watch what you can see happening. Okay? If you want, you can get a spoon or something like that. See if you can mix that oil in with the water. Mix, mix, mix. If you've got a jar with a lid, you can put it on and shake it up and see what happens. And again. It's all just bubbles. So I'm going to wait for that to settle for the next part of the experiment. Cool, so when your oil is all settled, you'll be able to see that it is sitting on top of the water and you can't mix it. Fascinating. Anyway, what we're going to do next is get our food colouring, so you can use whatever colour you want. You might use multiple colours. You're just going to drop some drops of food colouring in. So pause it now, go and give that a go, and just let it sit and just be really patient and wait and see what happens. Cool too. So when you've got all of your little bubbles of colour sitting there on the oil, what I'll get you to do is get just a little pinch of salt and sprinkle some salt on the top and see what happens there. So pause the video now and go and sprinkle some salt on it. Sprinkle the salt on top and keep my phone here and let's watch what happens. Just sit and have a look, okay? And what I'm going to get you to do, you'll see on the follow-up task that there is some instructions for you to do an observational drawing. So what I'm going to get you to do is put this in front of you somewhere and get yourself a piece of paper, a pencil, a ruler, and if you've got colouring in pencils or something like that would be awesome as well, because colour will help for you to draw a really detailed drawing. And so I want you to sit and watch it and do me an observational drawing to show me exactly what you see, your observations. So when you're doing an observational drawing, the things that you're going to need are a title. So you might call it an oil and water experiment, you might make up a name for it, anything like that is cool. You need to have a picture of exactly what you see. Okay, so that needs to be, you'll need to have the oil, you'll need to have the water, you'll need to have the little bubble colours in there, and your glass and all of that. Now all of those things need to be labelled, okay? So I'm going to put on the follow-up task my own example of my observational drawing, and I'm going to get you to do one the same, okay? So you'll see on the instructions that it then says for you to upload it to Seesaw as well, so that means that you can share your learning with everyone else, which is really cool. And for experts, I would love it if you would write for me and tell me what you saw, and also if you want to tell me why you think this is happening, what is going on in that glass to see this kind of reaction. Why don't we just get a big murky mess?